Good morning. It's Monday morning with Cheryl, and it is Martin Luther King Day. So I hope we all take some time to celebrate in a meaningful way. And also, if you're not working, have a little bit of time for yourself and to rest or do something fun. I am going to be talking about habits today. I have read a couple of books about habits. And I've also just recently been listening to a lot of podcasts. And the one book I haven't read that I keep hearing about is Atomic Habits by James Clear. And I heard him recently interviewed by Brene Brown, and also on a newer podcast for me. It's not a new podcast, Feel Better, Live More, where there was some more information from an interview. It was like a different aspect of the interview. So I just wanted to share that a little bit with you. And I think this one is really more for parents in regard to yourselves. And I think once we think about it in a new way in subsequent not podcasts, but in a couple more videos, my next one or next two will be following up and going more in detail around children. So I love having new information or making me see information in a new way. And I loved what he said. There were two main things in this podcast. Brene Brown's going to be interviewing him again. One is that instead of looking at goals as an end goal, we need to, he calls them identity-based habits. And instead of thinking what we want to achieve and having a finite goal, it's more about identifying who we want to be. So he gives the example, instead of setting the goal of running a marathon, that you're done when you reach the marathon, he's saying that you want to be a runner. So for somebody who may read, say they just want to read 10 minutes a day, instead say, I want to become a reader. So it's really interesting because I was thinking about what I want to do, and I think I'm really working on being a healthy person and establishing some more habits in that area where I have actually slacked off. And I love this because we always hear that you need 21 days to make a habit. And he said, no, habits are something you have to do forever because the second you stop, you've broken the habit. So there is no magic number, although it always helps to get started in some way. So the first thing he talks about is identity-based habits. And the second thing that he said is so important is the system. What system do you need to set up to support the habit? And we're only as good or as successful as our systems. So there was so much good information here that I think it sums up in these three quotes that he states in the podcast. So for example, goals are about the results you want to achieve. Systems are about the processes that lead to those results. So it's easy to set the goal. It's not so easy to set up the system and live by the system to get there. 2, the purpose of setting a goal is to win the game. The purpose of building systems is to keep playing the game. Aren't those good? So he is less about goals and more about the process to continuous improvement. He also said, if you think about it, Brene Brown talks a lot about shame. Goals are kind of set up to make you feel bad, that if you aren't successful, then you feel like, you haven't achieved what you wanted to, and it kind of makes you feel shame and unsuccessful there. So one thing that I do want to add is that he talks about people always think that we need like getting that goal started, that we need a lot of intensity to be successful. But really, we just need consistency. So I'm going to be talking a little bit more about this. I don't like these videos to get too long. I'm going to be talking more about it. But again, think about those two main things. Who do you want to be? Do you want to be a runner? Do you want to be a reader? Whatever it may be for you, instead of thinking about the goal, and then thinking about the systems that need to be in place on how to get there. And I think for parents, often we have these expectations for our kids around studying, just around cleanliness, all sorts of things, and yet we are not always successful in those ourselves. So I think we role model a lot, and also think this can help us think in a new way in supporting our children. So again, I've got another couple of videos coming your way on this topic. Thanks, and have a great day. Take care.